Hey, I'm Dom Rici, and this is Light It Up. Good morning, bookie bashes, run line smashes, total hustlers, dog line crushes, and this is Light It Up with your boy Dom Rici here.
Light it up. So about to begin.
How we doing, everybody? February 3rd, 2020, day after the Super Bowl. Everybody has their little Super Bowl hangover and their little food hangover, little drink hangover, and whatever kind of other type of hangover that we might have. It's always one of those days. I've been sleeping half the day and just chilling out, enjoying my rare Super Bowl winning day. I'm not usually a big Super Bowl bettor. Over the last few years, it kind of got for me almost like I don't know. I hate to put it this way, but like New Year's Eve, like amateur day. I've only, I bet lightly. I bet so much during the year that when it comes to those kind of games, I usually back off. But yesterday just seemed to be the perfect opportunity to put a bunch of bets in, and lucky enough, I got lucky with a bunch, and also a lot of the cappers I run with, like Big Ragu, like Cranky Rick, like a bunch of us. We all have our friend Bubba, the big guy. A lot of us hit some big bets yesterday, some nice props. So that's always good, right? It's always good to end the year on a good note. As far as the game itself, I'll tell you something. I did have the Chiefs' future, as a lot of you know, at a plus 500 from around week 13. But I'll tell you, I was concerned. I was concerned about them going into the game. I thought that San Francisco had a legitimate shot to beat them. And, until they basically blew the game in the fourth quarter, I thought that they had control, and they let the game get away. I know Mahomes deserves a lot of credit, more so for the way he got them to the Super Bowl than yesterday, I thought. I didn't think he had a great game. He was shaky. He threw behind players. He overthrew some players. He had the time too when he made those poor throws, and his team bailed him out a little bit yesterday, especially their defense. And listen, he deserved it. He's been bailing them out probably most of the year, definitely the last two playoff games to get them to the Super Bowl. So I definitely think that Mahomes deserved to kind of win like that, where the team got his back. I honestly didn't think he deserved the the most valuable player, the MVP. I really thought Williams deserved it. I really did. But it's like a popularity contest that MVP. So he deserves the MVP for the team for the year, probably for the playoffs. But I really didn't think so much yesterday's game. But hey, listen, no big deal. I just thought Williams deserved it. He played a great game, and So anyhow, big, not a big issue to really discuss. What came out glaring to me was that Kyle Shanahan does not trust his quarterback at all. And I'm sorry. Jimmy G didn't play a great game. We know that. He's not a great quarterback. I heard him compared to Kirk Cousins today a bunch of times, and personally, I would take Kirk Cousins over Jimmy G. But Jimmy G's not, he's still a decent quarterback. I thought Shanahan blew that game many times. I thought he was outcoached totally. I don't think it had anything to do with, you hear those conspiracy theories about the NFL wanting the Chiefs to win and, all that nonsense. They won because they had a better defense yesterday. They protected their quarterback better. They were totally outcoached. I didn't understand you can make an argument. Let's start from the beginning. The coin toss. They get the coin, they get the toss, they get the tails, and they give the ball to Mahomes. Now, you would think you would want Mahomes to have the ball less in his hand. Should be a game plan. But that's not what they did. Now, you can make an argument that they were going to say, listen, our defense got us here. We're going to make a stand. We're not scared of Mahomes. That's okay, fine. Let make that argument. But it kind of shows that maybe he didn't trust his quarterback to come right out of the gate. Let him get some time, on the sideline. Let the game go. Get a couple of minutes into it. It just shows me he don't trust them. So it worked. They stopped them. They got the ball back. They controlled the first half. And the 49ers, I thought, had a good rhythm. They were running the ball a little bit. I thought they were doing good. Up until the last minute and a half, they don't call a timeout. They could have got that ball back with a minute 40 left, maybe, and I'm not sure at the time, but it was well over a minute. And they didn't get. He let the game pick out. They got the ball at 50 seconds. They handed the ball off to Mozart. He got 5 yards. Then they threw the ball twice, 3 and out. I think there was a penalty involved. That's right. They had a penalty involved. Ball came back. Regardless, they blew the first half where they could have had some points, at least 3 more points. What surprised me about that was this year, the San Francisco 49ers outscored their opponents the last 2 minutes of the first half, 63-3. 63-3. And they don't go for it with a minute and a half left or whatever exact number was in the first quarter when they did it, or in the first half when they did it all year long. And it shows me that he didn't trust his quarterback again in the first half. I think when it comes down to it, that shows a lot. It shows a lot, and they played scared. As far as I'm concerned, in those instances. Then the third quarter starts. They get the kickoff. They basically march down the field. And the 49ers seem to have control of that game until, what was it, 6 minutes, I guess, left in that fourth quarter. It was, before that, they, when Kansas City scored to get it from 2010 to 2017, that was just unforgiving. First of all, the 49ers had a penalty on that play. They, Tyreek Hill had the catch that they overturned, a 16-yard catch that they overturned. Then the next play, they leave Hill wide open. He gets a 44-yard bomb to him. They're down to 21. Then the pass interference, which was unnecessary, in the end zone on Kelsey, which was a definite pass interference. And they scored that touchdown. I mean, it was just unbelievable how that happened and how they let that happen. The 49ers had a couple offsides in that fourth quarter. They had George Kittle had a definite offensive interference where he stiff-armed the other player. I forgot which player it was, on that pass in the fourth quarter. It wasn't a bad call. It was a bad play by Kittle. And offsides by Sanders. The offsides by Sanders in the fourth quarter. No need for that stuff. And I think they lost the game more than the Chiefs really. The Chiefs took the opportunity, but San Francisco handed to them on a silver platter. We talked about it Friday night about the Chiefs on the lounge. We had our friend Greg Plus EV, who is in the chat right now, and he was just adamant on the Chiefs, and he has been for the weeks leading up into the game. And like myself and a few others, we agreed, and thankfully they won the game. By coaching, they won the game by the defense. Their defense, everybody talked about San Francisco's defense and what happened, right? Here's some glaring stats that I thought was a little telling. Was they stopped running the ball, San Francisco? What did Mozart have? 58 yards, maybe five rushes. Let me check that out. Yeah, a lot of things were pretty even. That where you would say San Francisco played the game that they wanted. I mean, the time of possession was pretty close, 26 minutes to 33. Passing yards. Jimmy G was 20 for 31. Patty Mahomes was 26 for 42. That was one of the 3 prop bets that I lost. I took under 25 in the under 25 and a half. Mahomes completions, and he got that completion on that last throw, which if they would have didn't leave Hill open, and they wouldn't have got that. But anyhow, that's how props are. You're winning by one, you're losing by one. Yeah, Mostert had 12 attempts, 58 yards. How do you do that? Coleman, 5 attempts, 28 yards. How do you do that? I thought that was a glaring a difference why San Francisco didn't win the game. I thought that their coach was out-coached totally. I think he don't trust his quarterback, and I think that's an issue for the 49ers going forward. How don't you trust your quarterback that got you to the Super Bowl? Regardless, you got there. There has to be a reason why you got there. So that's something that's they're going to talk about all year long. And listen, for the last game of the year, there were some spots where the game was a little weird, but it was a good Super Bowl. It closed out the season the right way. The Chiefs deserve it. Congratulations to Andy Reid. Congratulations to the Chief backers. And let's put football to rest. It's gone. It's over. NHL is where it's at for me. NBA, it's where it's at for a lot of my friends. We're probably into the last 35 games or so in the NHL, so should be interesting coming up. A lot of good games. I didn't take anything tonight. My lean was the Rangers over, and that's already gone over. It's already 4-2 at the end of the second period. You know how that goes when you say those words lean and you don't bet something that always wins, right? So I just think I take it easy tonight. But as far as hockey's concerned, I'll tell you, it's going to be. It's going to be. I think it's pretty wide open. I mean, if you look at the schedules now, I think the last game is like on a Saturday at the beginning of April, whether it's the 3rd or the 4th. I'm not really sure, but I think we have a lot of good hockey left leading up to the Stanley Cup. And a matter of fact, before I get into that, let me bring in my co-host tonight, our friend Boston Nick. I'm sure he has something to say about the NHL, and he's going to talk a little bit about MMA and what we have coming up on Who-Bangin. But let me first, because of Nick and because of where he works and the guys that he runs the All Pro moving business with, he got them to sponsor us. So first, let's take care of some business, and then we'll bring in Nikki. Hey, it's Dom Rici here. And for someone who's been in the moving business for over 35 years, I know how stressful it can be. You call All Pro Moving Group, the interstate moving specialist. They're fully licensed and insured, and they can help you out with every facet of your moving. Their number is 817-893-2233, and they gave us a special code for the Who-Bangin' Sports Talk customers, and that's All Pro Nick 1 for $500 off any move. That's right. Yeah, it is. That's right. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, I was in the moving business for a lot of years. That's what I did. I from working to owning my own business and stuff in New York on Long Island. Did a lot of New York to Florida work, so I know the business well. Helping furniture for a lot of years kept me young. Kept me going until it didn't. All of a sudden, it was like, oh, I can't do this no more, man. But anyhow, that's why I knew a lot about the moving business and something me and Nick had in common right away. So it was kind of cool. But there he is, our friend, Boston Nick, MMA. Welcome in, Nicky.
What's up, brother?
How are you?
You see the Panthers just come back? They were down 3-1 in the third.
Yeah.
Panthers.
I'm a little surprised. They've been playing terrible.
I know. I think it was one of those games to jump on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
My camera, but I think my buddy in the MMA fortune teller. I'm pretty sure if I know him, he jumped on the Panthers. I'm hoping he's a big Panther fan.
Oh, that's cool.
I know him from down here. He's an MMA capper like myself. Real good. Y'all check him out on YouTube at MMA fortune teller.
MMA fortune teller.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Yep.
Cool. You got to write that down.
Hanging out with him this weekend. I was actually with him last night for the Super Bowl. Getting a little tipsy over on Atlantic Ave on Intercoastal. It's fun time. But yeah, man. One topic I want to bring up real quick before I forget. You know me.
Go ahead. Stephen
A. Smith.
Right.
His MMA commenting is is ridiculous. It's just he was basically saying that Cowboy threw the fight, that it was all set up, and you know what I mean, that the fight was. I mean, we all know that was an easy fight for Conor. Yes, did Cowboy go in there thinking he was going to lose and get knocked out like that? Come on, man, that's just dumb. He's bringing the casuals, that the type of casual fans that we don't like to the sport, and I think that needs to change. And Joe Rogan, he kind of put a little bit of, I don't know, damper on Stephen A. Smith's parade simply by just going at him. I mean, right after the fight, they were next to each other, and he looked at him. He was like, "Are you crazy?" So he's basically saying that we saw nothing from Conor McGregor. Yes, we did. We saw him basically off a 2-year layoff come back and mollywop Cowboy Cerrone, who has the most bonuses, who has the most fights, I believe, also, and the most wins in the UFC. You know what I mean? So
Gotcha.
not just a knock on Conor, but a big knock on Cowboy, and he should be ashamed of himself. I don't know why ESPN's letting him do the UFC commentary the way he is, or at all.
That's typical ESPN though, right? He's a recognizable name now, and he's the name that people know. That, like you say, the people that don't know about the sport, that's the guy they know. So that's typical ESPN, not putting in someone that really knows. They'll put in, guys like us rather hear somebody no one ever heard about, but that has the knowledge. Some figurehead. But that's just typical ESPN.
Yanni the Greek they got over there. That's trying to. I mean, he's horrible as well. But maybe sometimes I think these guys work for Vegas when it comes to the cappers that they have. I mean, every bet he places, they basically. I know he's not up units, put it this way, and he's on ESPN. So
yeah, it's unbelievable. Any big fights coming up? Any big cards coming up in the next week or so?
This weekend we got probably one of the biggest cards in a while.
Oh, do we?
Conor McGregor, of course, but we got John Jones.
Oh, that's this weekend, that fight. Okay.
Yeah, overrated Reyes.
And your Jones fight is this weekend too, then, right?
Yeah, Jones is fighting. You got Caitlin Tugigan trying to take Valentina Shevchenko's belt. That's not going to happen. She's a minus 1,100. Let's put it that way.
Gotcha.
Yeah. She's worthless to put in a parlay. Let's put it that way. But I have right now 24 parlays waiting to cash with John Jones. I'll have more. You had 18 when I talked to you yesterday, yesterday morning, or was that maybe that was Saturday? So now it's up to 24. 24. I'll have a few more, but I'm gonna put a little bit of a hedge bet in on Reyes by KO.
Well, you have to.
Yeah, by KO I'll get like plus 600, I think, or maybe even a little bit better. And that's because he's not beating John Jones on points. I understand. He's not submitting John Jones, so yeah.
A knockout could always happen.
Yep.
Yeah, of course.
For me, I think this is like picking up money off the ground. So I told you. Did you take any? Did you mix?
No. That's not my thing. I didn't take anything, but I like that. I'll be rooting for you. I like that. I kept the interest on it, and I've told a few people about that. So hopefully a bunch of cash. Did you have any with the game yesterday?
Yeah, I had two that cashed, or excuse me, one that I took for at least a good amount of money was the under 100 yards first half for Jimmy Garoppolo. Okay. And other than that, though, I was on Niners, and then I saw the tides starting to change, and I think at minus 165 and minus 175. I got to recheck. I put a pretty decent sized bet in to just win, to get a little bit my money back and some. You know what I mean? Right. And those Chiefs, man, they're the comeback kings. That should be their nickname.
Yeah, they are the comeback kings. That everything lined up perfectly for them in the fourth quarter. Like we talked about, man, they were destined. I'll tell you, it was it was something. It was something. I thought the San Francisco 49ers really just handed it to them on a silver platter at the end of that game. I mean, they had penalties that they shouldn't have had. They, that interference with Kelsey in the end zone, I thought was terrible. I'm not sure who the defender was, but he wasn't beat. He tied him up in the end zone. It was ridiculous. Emmanuel Sanders had a penalty. It's just crazy. It was crazy. But we had a bunch of props, and as far as the game was concerned, it worked out good for us.
How many units did Doc make?
Doc had a 10-unit play on the plus 500 Chiefs. I had a 3-unit play, but my unit's only for the Super Bowl with $50 a unit. I put that bet in week 13. I put $150 on the plus 500. So I was happy with that. Yeah, like I said Friday night, I don't care if it's a $25 bet. If I can if I get back 125, I'm happy on a $25 bet, right? I'm always happy at 5-1. On $10, you're happy with 5-1. Anyhow, yeah, that was good. But that had a 10-unit play, and I'm sure it was bigger than the $50 thing. And then I had $50 on all my prop plays. I bet 10. I won 7.
You go 4
I
and 2.
hit a plus 175. So, what was that?
What'd you go on your props? What were you, 4 and 2 or?
7-10. 7. I bet 10. I won 7. One of them was a plus 175. And the good news is I won the 2 big ones, minus 130 and minus 140. Those were the ones that I won. The 3 I lost was Robbie Gold over 8.5 points. He had 8 points. Mahomes under 25.5 completions. He had 26. And that's typical props. You always lose those by 1 or 2. And we had Emmanuel Sanders over 44 yards. He had 38 yards. But I did hit on Emmanuel Sanders' longest reception, 17.5 yards. And the longest reception was an 18-yarder. So again, you win like that, you lose by that, you know. So
right. Did Hill hit? Did Tyreek Hill's props hit?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what he ended up with, Tyreek Hill.
On that, his receiver or whatever it was.
I mean, at the end of that game, you know, they had that penalty. Oh no, he had the overturned drop ball, and then they left them open on the next play. It was like a 44-yard play.
Dom, I was going to crush the Mahomes rushing yard prop or whatever.
And it didn't hit, did it?
And then I didn't touch it because I was with my buddy. I was just talking about at the bar on Atlantic, and I heard today. You know, I knew it hit. I'm like, damn, I wish whatever.
Oh no! Listen, he went 29 yards. Okay,
yeah.
I never seen it ever. I know Teddy was talking about 27 and all that, and that's just, you know, those guys are always talking about lines that I never see. I don't know about everybody else, but you know, they get early lines. They get lines when they first come out. I don't know, but here's my point: none of us, because I asked 10 people, and and a bunch of them said none of us seen under 30 yards for that Mahomes prop. But you know, it's apples and oranges. He ended up having 29 yards. So I guess maybe somebody
was that after he down the ball three times to lose 15 yards.
It's Mahomes rushing attempts, 9 rushing attempts for 29 yards. His longest one was 13 yards. You know what happens? He gets, when you get sacked, that comes off.
Well, what happened was, remember at the end of the game when he downed the ball?
Well, yeah, there you go.
He backed up 5 yards. He lost 15. They lost 15 yards.
Yeah. That kind of stuff, takes off. So, to me, that didn't hit. But your Tyreek Hill had a hit because he had 16 targets for 9 receptions for 105 yards. Yeah, that definitely hit.
Yeah, that hit.
And I hit my Sammy Watkins again. He had 98 yards, man. It was over 44.5.
Was it?
So, it was 2 weeks in a row, 2 games in a row I hit that. So I was good on that. So anyhow, before you came in, I was going to just quickly talk about, like I said, man, putting NFL to bed. Next Monday starts spring training, Major League Baseball. It makes me happy. The NHL, we got, we're at February 3rd. So April 3rd, I believe, or April 4th, it's a Saturday. That's the last game for the schedule for the NHL. So we got ourselves 2 full months of great hockey coming up. If the playoffs started now, it's a little bit interesting. The Blues, in the Western Conference, man, the Blues, Vancouver, Colorado, and then Edmonton, the first 4, then Vegas under them. Number 5. That's pretty interesting. If the playoffs started now, and the Blackhawks they're number 9, but they're reaching up in there. That's one of those teams that are playing behind right now, but that are playing well. And could sneak in there.
Who do you think top two there?
I mean, I don't trust the Blues at all. I never do. I like the way Vancouver's playing, man. They had a nice win against the Islanders on Saturday. I think Vancouver. I think tomorrow night they might play. We'll look at in a minute. I think they play the Bruins. They play somebody East Coast team tomorrow, Vancouver. I got to take a look at that, but they're a tricky team. Vegas. I don't know what happened to them, but you never know. There might be now when they come on strong. That's why I say these next 3 weeks is going to be some great hockey. I mean, in the East, you got the usual. You got the Caps, you got the Bruins, then you got Pittsburgh, but then you got Tampa Bay and then Toronto.
You know what I've noticed is that the UFC cards are really picking up that time. Right when all that's starting to end, it's like the UFC cards are going hammer. So I think that's
April.
Yeah.
What do you mean? When the playoff with the Stanley Cup starts?
Right now, even this month, we got three straight cards week. Next week, the week after, the week after. Then we got 1 week break. Then we got two cards in a row. 1 week break, and it goes on a freaking rampage.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
A lot of UFC coming up.
That's interesting. That's good. We got to. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to get you to do a weekly show. Then, you man, we're going to need you to start hammering this MMA, man. You're the guy to do it. I think the opening is now here. I don't know what's going on with other sites and other things, but I'm starting to see. I don't see too many MMA capping shows, and who knows? With capping shows that we know might be a thing in the past, so we might have to pick up the slack here.
Yeah, they're not doing it live. A lot of people record and stuff like that. They have something called the MMA Predictor Wars. I don't have time to do an hour recording on every. You know what I mean?
Right.
I can do an hour breakdown live and whatnot with the chat and whatnot and engage.
Yeah, that's the best way, man. That's the best thing for you too. I think that's what everybody wants to do. As far as this week go, you got this card this Saturday night. You should get together your picks and stuff, and you come in on the lounge Friday night and give out your picks and stuff like that. And then we'll try to shoot for your own thing next week. We'll see what the fellas think, what time we could start and stuff, and we'll see what, because we're thinking maybe changing this show and making it earlier, and there seems to be that weird 5:30 time slot Eastern Standard Time that was never available. That seems to be available again. As crazy as that sounds, but it's another story for another show.
Real.
But,
that is just.
Yeah, it's all mind-boggling to us. But hey, you never know. We might be the ones that might be wrong. Who knows? But I guess time will tell. But for sure, we're going to do whatever we can to make sure all of us keep on rocking and keep on sticking it out and staying together. That's for sure, without a doubt.
And that's why I'm looking forward to that Vegas trip. Is it March 25th?
So the exact dates we're working out. We're trying to see what we could what kind of what we could work out. I was talking to Doc about it today. He's still there. He'll be home tomorrow. So this week we'll definitely iron out the exact dates. Those but that string of games that we want to be at, I think starts like that Wednesday is like, maybe I don't have a calendar in front of me, but it's in that area, 23rd, 24th.
What game?
Like that. The March Madness, the basketball, the end of that last whole weekend,
Yeah.
So that's what it's all about. Oh no, yeah, that we want to tie that into the March Madness games. That's what we want to talk about.
Good idea.
And then another thing, so we're gonna, listen. The Who-Bangin Sports Talk is going to start taking over these trips. We're going to make sure the low bangers stay together. We're going to make sure we add to it with us and we're going to get some trips together. I talked to our friend DJ Big Boss today, and he is on his way home from Biloxi, Mississippi, where he was for the Super Bowl.
Oh.
And he was telling us that he was at the Hard Rock at the Biloxi. And I've heard about Biloxi, Mississippi a bunch of times. It's a big World Poker Tour spot, and it's a nice little gambling community with a couple of hotels there. He said it was great. It was a perfect place for us to
Yeah.
Get together. There's a couple hotels there. There's a Boyd Hotel, the Imperial Palace. There's the Beau Rivage that I've heard about a bunch of times. And then there's, I believe Doc has actually stayed there. And then there's a Hard Rock. So it's a spot where it might be good for us to seek out one of these times too. Great for us on the East Coast. I mean, for you, it'd be an hour flight.
Yeah,
you know? I could drive there I could drive there in 10, 11 hours, but I wouldn't do that no more.
Yeah, you could probably get
quick flight.
Mississippi, they're probably pretty inexpensive. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's probably a layover somewhere, you know, whether it be like Raleigh, North Carolina, or New Orleans or something. But you know,
as long as you get to stay in the room with you and enjoy that fabulous snoring that you have in the store. I know I snore too, so.
Yeah, right. That's funny. But yeah, without a doubt. So we'll be looking out for that. So let me just take a. Oh, there you go. Damn it! I should have.
They won.
Third quarter. A minute and 45 seconds left. Florida's 4-3 over Toronto. The Rangers are losing 5-3. I told these guys.
5-3. Game over, Panthers.
Oh, you just got another score.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm live on my TV behind me because I'm in Florida.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yep.
I got you. And I'll tell you, that was a surprising factor to me. The other Saturday, me and Josh did some NHL stuff, and we thought that the Maple Leaf game was gonna soar over. There was a 2-1 overtime game. You know, I guess the Senators. I guess you never know. And so you think they would bounce back tonight against Florida, who hasn't been playing well, and there you go. Like you say, those are the spots to look at.
The last two games between these two have went over, and this one did too. Now 3 games in a row. You know what I mean?
That's right.
I mean,
I was looking at the game. They played each other in mid-January. Yeah, I was looking at that before, and then I talked about on Jimmy's show today to take the over in the Dallas Rangers game. Everybody was jumping on that under. I'm telling you, Dallas has been letting up 3 or 4 goals on the road lately, and they let up 3 already. And they've been, and the Rangers are in high-scoring games usually. So
it's hard. It's so hard for me to take the over in Dallas games. I just stay away. You know what I mean?
It was 5.5. I hit that freaking number. It's a tough one too. And then the Philadelphia Red Wing game. Third period, 18 minutes left. Just started then. 1-0 Philly. I know Detroit was a little popular pick today. They figured, it had a nice price. It went off at plus 190.
Yeah.
And I know Jimmy jumped on the first period. Detroit, hoping for that. Yeah, it was a smart play. It didn't work out. That's all.
I should have hit the plus, but I'm not sure what the plus was. It was probably too much juice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't like that play. Yeah. I really don't like that play.
No big deal. Push.
Yeah, no, exactly. That was my point. It was 0-0. So that's a good thing. Yeah. That's a good thing. So tomorrow, NHL tomorrow. Okay, Vancouver is playing the Bruins.
They are
in Boston. Yeah, they got the Bruins. They have the opening line at the Bruins minus 185.
Ooh.
Yes, so someone got to look at tomorrow. Also, another team that's been, that's not playing as well as we thought coming out of the break is the Sabres. Now they got the Avalanche coming in, and they're playing at home. The home game for Buffalo tomorrow night. And Buffalo is plus 145 at home.
Who is? Buffalo?
Buffalo, Sabres. The Sabres. Colorado went to Sabres. Sabres are plus 145 at home. Sabres came out flat but they were playing well going into the All-Star break. We were hitting some nice dogs with them. Tomorrow night might be another spot. That my eye definitely leans to that. And the Dallas Stars play the Islanders tomorrow night.
Yeah, I'm going to jump on that Bruins -1 puck line. I know that for sure. That's one of my plays that I like. I just like them at home. I know they're. What's their record at home? It's not the best, but
who?
Bruins. For some reason,
Bruins record at home is 17-2, 4-5, 17-2.
17-2.
Yeah.
Okay, that was better. A lot better than I thought. I had it backwards.
17-2 with 4 shootouts and then 5 ties. I guess that's how
their away record is horrible, right?
Their away record is, I don't have that in front of me. I have like the away on Vancouver, and yeah.
So I'll be taking the puck line. I hope I get some sort of plus line.
Here's interesting. The puck line at home for the Bruins, which is always going to be a minus,
Yeah.
is only 11 and 17. So they haven't been winning those puck lines at home.
Really?
Isn't that interesting?
Very.
And their puck line overall is 24 and 29. Now the Bruins are always favored. I never see them not favored. You know, it's hard sometimes with hockey when they give you those puck line numbers against the spread because you don't know if it's plus or minus.
Yeah.
Sometimes, but with the Bruins, you got to assume most of the time it's minus. At home, it definitely is. They're never a dog at home. The Bruins.
Never. What about the Bruins? No overtime to win. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't have that in front of me. I can tell you that the Vancouver's puck line on the road, again, we don't know, is 18 and 10. Their puck line overall is 31 and 22. But again, we don't know if that's plus or minus.
Yeah.
That's what hockey is sometimes, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Some good games tomorrow night. Some games we could definitely cap and talk about on betting with the bag tomorrow, for sure in the morning, and we could see what games we're going to jump on. But that's some interesting games tomorrow. Also, Vegas is at Tampa Bay, and Florida is flying to Columbus to play. That's a tough one.
Yeah, after this game, come on.
That's a tough one because Columbus is playing good. Columbus had played yesterday. I had them yesterday. I went 3-0 in hockey yesterday. I had Columbus and the Columbus team total. And I had Vancouver's team total, but they lost. But Columbus is playing well, man. They're playing a little bit. I'm surprised how good they're playing. But
they have a lineup yet?
Excuse me?
They have that lineup yet?
No, not because this game is still going on. So the line is off still because this game is going on. So
I mean, they're gonna have to get on the plane.
That could be a good game. Yeah. The Hurricanes are at St. Louis. The Predators are at the Jets. Interesting. The Oilers are at Arizona at the Coyotes. Interesting game. Oilers have been playing well, man. Josh has got me on the Oilers, and they've been playing well, man. I've hit a couple nice little prices with them. I had their team total on Saturday.
I haven't bet them this year. What I like the Preds tomorrow. Do they have the line on that yet?
Yeah, they got the Preds. The Jets at home plus 105. Okay. Yeah, the Preds are slightly favored.
Jimmy says never take those away.
Preds are 13-9-1 on the road this year.
Okay.
Yeah, and Winnipeg is 12-12 at home.
I like that then.
What did Jimmy say? You said? I'm sorry. Jimmy said what?
Like those,
Jimmy said what?
Away teams. I think it's either plus minus puck lines. I think it is, right? And it doesn't like that, like anything over like minus 130 juice if they're away. You know what I mean?
Okay, gotcha. Well, I did see some against the spread stats where in the NHL against the spread stats, away teams are 56% they're winning. Away teams, home teams are winning 43%. Favorites are only winning 35%, and the dogs are up to 64%, almost 65%.
Wow,
interesting, right?
Yeah.
And the away dogs are 64.6%. The home dogs are 65.5%.
Fucking A.
Isn't that interesting?
Huh. I need to start playing those. I mean, that's a high rate in the 60s.
That's a high rate. That's a high rate against the spread.
In the dollars, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is a high rate.
Now, I'm not sure exactly, but I said against the spread, I'm on covers. Covers have these posted. So I like to look into a little bit more on how they figure it out. But I mean, that's what it says.
Yeah.
So that's pretty interesting. And another thing that's interesting is the totals. The over and unders are so close. In all games, there's been 392 overs and 383 unders.
That's coin flip.
And what's more surprising is in overtime, 94 overs to 94 unders, exactly even.
Wow.
Isn't that weird?
That is
See,
weird.
I thought the same thing. It really struck me as so the overtime
betting the
games have
over,
been dead even.
you might as well flip a coin if you're betting the over-unders. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I mean, it just seems like you just got to catch the right teams, I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
I always do well with my totals, but
Yeah.
you can't, based on that. I mean, if you're betting every game every night, then yes, it would have worked out to be 94.
Hope you flip the coin correctly.
So at least, yeah. So we know there's been 188 overtime games. So anyhow, that was a little bit about hockey, a little bit what's coming up. Like I said, the next couple of weeks should be good. We have some juicy games to play. My Rangers were 9 points out before they're losing tonight. They were 11 points out after the All Star, before the All Star break. So.
Yeah.
They have a shot, man. They have a shot. The New York Islanders are going in reverse. They were like 3 points ahead, and I think maybe they're only 1 point now. So
He talks about the Bruins. I mean, I don't know why. I really think the Bruins are a team to be what like their future. I mean, they got to be in the top 3 in futures, right?
yeah, without a doubt. I mean, they're playing. You know how these teams like for me like the Bruins and like the Penguins. They know when even the Capitals. These teams know when to turn it on. Like they haven't played great. The Bruins haven't played great the last month or so, but they know they didn't have to. Now watch what happens.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I guess going into the playoff season, they already know they have enough, W's in the bag. Why, rest their guys, they need to rest type
That's
thing.
right.
They don't need it. Maybe it's another reason maybe I should stay off the Bruins tomorrow. You know what I mean?
I mean, they got to pump it up a little bit sooner or later, but a team like Vancouver is a team that could possibly pull out an upset. They've been doing it. They just pulled out a nice upset against the Islanders on Saturday. They were like maybe I know Josh had them Saturday. I think they were plus 140, something like that.
Really?
So yeah,
You love the Islanders, I
they
know that.
played well against the Islanders. They had a day off, and now 2 days off. So yeah, we'll see what happens. So anyhow, there's some good games tomorrow. So anyhow, before we get going, do you have any underdog picks for the MMA card or already or
Not yet.
not yet?
Not yet. I want to wait to the weigh-ins will be Friday morning.
That was my question.
Yeah.
Friday morning is the weigh-ins?
Yeah, the Friday
All right,
morning the weigh-ins. I really like to see. I mean, I have some stuff in mind, but I don't want to shout out yet because I don't want to place any bets.
No, I got you.
The weigh-ins are so important. Not to mention big cards like this. They have like that. They break down episodes called UFC Unfiltered, and
Right.
you can watch a lot of like what's going on, weight cuts and stuff like that, and little inside information.
Hey,
Talk to some of the guys over American Top Team and stuff like that. But Friday night, I will have some definitely.
We'll definitely slate you in to come in the lounge. Now that you talk about that, the weigh-ins are always on Friday night, right? Or Friday morning, right?
Friday morning.
Maybe we should try to slate you in to do a show on Friday nights every week. That's all. And before the lounge is at 9:00 Eastern. So you got 7:30, 8:30, 8:00.
30
you can lead it. Yeah, you can lead us into the lounge, something like that. Because listen, you got to come on anyhow. Then after the weigh-ins
Right.
So that might be the spot. I didn't think of that. We'll have to iron that out with the higher authorities,
the higher ups.
the higher ups. All right, man. All right. So listen, that was great having you on. I guess we'll get out of here. Like I said, what I'm going to do next Monday night, I'll probably be hitting a little bit of baseball because spring training is starting. So a lot of things happened this year on the off season. There's a lot of hot stove topics to talk about. So I'm psyched up for that. But yeah, no football this weekend. So we got to gear ourselves into something else. I'll be to the time of year too where I start getting more interested in the college basketball. I've been hitting it a little bit the last week or two. Start, easing right into that tournament, and so that's the time.
It's like my first serious March Madness with actually like with you guys and stuff like that. I wasn't around for March Madness last year.
Okay, gotcha. Oh, this should be good. It'll be good then. We got a lot of good captains when it comes to that, especially with the college basketball. We all know who the good NBA captains of our friends are out there, like, Ski Profit and Jay Money, and of course our own Trot Wham, Greg plus EV, and then in the college, Max. I always consider Max more on the college, not the NBA.
Yeah,
like I was gonna mention him on the college. Then on the college, we got Max and we got Noli and a lot of guys. Ricky's been smashing. Cranky Rick March has been he's been cashing in the college basketball. He's had a nice record over the last few weeks. And what's good about Ricky is that he seems to only have 2 or 3 looks a night. So he's not like just getting lucky with like a 7 card, 5, 7 cards and have a nice big run. He's been putting out consistent winners. He went at like a 27-13, 27-14 type of run last few weeks. So yeah, he's been doing well. So it's good, man. And that's all from us together, man. We all work together, and like yesterday morning, Ricky called me and we talked about the prop bets for like 45 minutes on the phone, and both of us, we hit a lot of them. He had a lot of good looks also, and so listen, it helps, man. We all work together.
Yeah,
we win together, we lose together.
Exactly.
Yeah, right, Nick?
We also let these bookmakers together. So.
That's it, baby. And like I told our friend Jimmy the Bag only a few hours ago, the most important thing is that we're all friends and we all stick together, and wherever the chips may fall, we could always deal with it and take care of it. So everything's all good, man. Everything's all good. All right, Nick, I'll let you get out of here, man. Love you, brother. I will see you later on. And like I said, Friday night, Nick, you'll be on with those MMA picks, so don't miss out. And so we're both going to get out of here. So thank you, everybody, for showing up tonight. Love you guys. Light it up Mondays. Love doing it. Love being here. And I'll see you next week. Good night.
Adios.